Here we are again. We're back. Yes, another episode, the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. We are over here at the Retro Arcade on location on the boardwalk. And my film guy here, I don't know if he likes me to say his name or not, but Bill, behind the camera, wanted me to tell you about my Crook Saloon because it's one of his favorite games. He plays this every time he gets here. He can't pass this by, and I understand why. Because, you know, this is another one of those games that I played as a little Randy, believe it or not. Now, you see this little step here? I used to stand on that very step. On that very step, I would climb up and I would have to reach up to try to grab the gun, and I still couldn't reach it. That's how little Randy was playing this game. Then, of course, little Randy got a little bigger and he could do it. But this is what's known as the Dale Burp Gun. Yes, very special. You don't come across these Crook Saloons very often. Once in a while, you see one. I saw one not too long ago. I think it was some kind of sale on eBay. It might have been a marketplace thing, or it might have been a collector group. They were selling a Crook Saloon, and I was shocked that somebody had one and they were actually selling it. But you know what? It didn't have the original gun. They had replaced it with a machine gun from a Midway Gangbusters. Like this big, you know what I'm saying? It probably worked, you know, because you're really not shooting out of the gun. It's all done inside on the stylists. But it was just not the same thing. The Dale Burp Gun was what this was all about. This miniature machine gun was what it was all about. So, you look at the Dale Burp Gun targets here at the Crook Saloon, and it's an old building, and you got the old window shades, which are, you know, with the holes in it, they're dirty and they're tattered, whatever, just like would be in an old tenement. And the crooks are in there, and they will pop up from behind the windows, and you got to shoot them as they pop their head up. And they score on the dial, the score. Now notice, made by Dale Engineering in Long Beach, California. This is why it was called the Dale Burp Gun, because it was their signature piece. The Dale Burp Gun originally actually moved. Yes. This end piece here actually moved back and forth inside the gun with a little solenoid that would go plump, 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 plump. A lot of the older games did that. This one doesn't do that anymore. Before I ever bought it, it was kind of pinned back, so it doesn't do that anymore. And it never really worked right anyway. They added a little bit of a sound effect to it mechanically. They did a really good job out of it, I'll say that. It keeps the effect, keeps the sound, but it eliminated the actual movement of the gun. As we look at this a little further here, you notice there are 10 windows. So there's 10 possibilities where your gangster can pop up and you can shoot them. And sometimes they pop up in more than one window at a time. Did you know they made more than one model of the Crook Saloon? This was the deluxe, because it has 10 windows. Most Crook Saloons only have 6 windows. The 4 here and the 2 on the top. This bottom section of 4, just plain. No gangsters pop up behind it. So if you ever come across a Crook Saloon, you probably wouldn't even know that you didn't get the deluxe one because it only had 6 windows. Can you imagine spending all that money to buy an antique Crook Saloon and you didn't get the deluxe? People would be devastated over this. This one is the deluxe. You know, it would be nice, I guess, if you also had one of the regular ones, so you could, you know, someday have them side by side, you could see the difference. Yes, I have one of the regular ones too, because when I was a kid in Seaside, they had one in Casino Arcade and one in the Carousel Arcade on opposite ends of the boardwalk. The two big arcades with merry-go-rounds. One was a deluxe and one was a regular. And I played them both. And eventually, I bought them both because I love them. I love them in pieces. Yes, my dear Perp gun. I love them. And I keep them. And up here, there's actually a marquee. It's kind of curved. It's kind of got a picture of a gangster. I don't have it on because it's made of masonite, which is brittle. It had one little break on a corner that somebody broke it. I had to glue it together. And I said, that's it. I'm not going to have my marquee on the machine so they can bust it for nothing. So the marquee is not on. But I have the marquee. And it's really neat. And this used to be a dime. A dime. Can you believe that? One thin dime. What is this rat charging for it now? 50 cents? Oh my God. All right. Somebody must have had a quarter in it because it started. Look, there they are. I hit the top score and I'm still going. Game over. Now, isn't that a fun game? You gotta say that's a fun game. Now, I'm concerned, did somebody put an extra quarter in it or did it start with a quarter? Well, let's try another quarter and see, just to see. Look at that, it started again with just a quarter. We can't have that. It's 50 cents. So what's going on? Now, this machine, unfortunately, had a catastrophic event the other day. I just lost my keys. Yes, it burned a coil. So I had to replace the unit. And there's the problem. Look at that. There it is. It was stuck. That's moving. This is deciding my coins. So this was stuck on. So now we're okay. For whatever reason, it was just stuck. So I had to replace this unit. It's just a score unit. And just kind of screwed on there. And this is deciding how many coins you're going to play and then it operates your relays. I have a solid state timer here, which is a replacement. They actually had one of those tube timers there. Do you know those tube timers? It's a glass tube, looks like a tube you would find in your radio, but it actually heats up, and when it gets hot, it would change the circuit because it was a timer, and it worked on heat. But for whatever reason, when I got the machine, the tube timer was not there, so I replaced it with a solid state version, and I can set my time. And inside, if you can look in the bottom, you'll see all kinds of quarters laying on the floor because they missed the pail. I have a pail there catching all the quarters, and it missed completely. Now here's the sound effect they added. This is really neat. You see it here. Now watch when I shoot the gun. It doesn't move very much, but it moves enough to make that sound. You see what it's doing? It's just a solenoid going up and down, and the spring is making it hit that bolt. Now, what that actually is, that's a bat unit from a pitch and bat game where you would push the button, it would swing the bat. That's a bat unit that they took out of an old baseball game. They had it in their parts section, whatever, and they decided to use that for the sound. You know what? Gosh darn it, it works great, and it's worked all these years. And that was original when I got it, so, I mean, that's pretty neat. When I move the gun, can you see it move? The stylus moves. That's up and down. Here's left and right. So as you have a free movement all the way around, and that's how it tells the machine where you're pointing the gun. And that's adjustable, so you can make your gun on target the way you use your sights. But not everybody uses sights the same way. Interesting thing about gun games, particularly when I ran gun games in the mall and I had a large selection of them, some gun games are very accurate. And when you have them adjusted right, you hit the target activates. Other gun games, they're not so accurate. You shoot in the vicinity and you're gonna hit the target. Well, which one would you rather play? I'd rather play the one that's accurate and that you really hit the target. But that's not what people play. People play the one that if they're in the area, the target gets hit. Why? Because everybody wants to be a winner. And they want to be a champion even though they're not. So the gun games that were accurate and you actually had to hit the target didn't get a lot of play. But the gun games where if you were close, you hit the target, oh, this is a good one. I like this one better. This one works good. People's illusion in life. Life is much of an illusion. A lot of illusions. We all have them. And everybody's a winner here at the Retro Arcade, the way I run my games. Cranes where everybody wins. Fascination where everybody wins. It's just nice to be a winner. And when you play games here and you pay far less than you should be paying, even compared to money and inflation calculators from years ago, everybody's a winner. You can be a big shot for a buck. So come on down, play the games, have a good time, support us with your patronage, because if you don't, the things that you love won't be around. That's true. Anything you like. You like a hot dog stand? Be sure to go and buy their hot dogs. Okay? You like going on a certain ride? Be sure to ride that ride. Because if you don't support it with your patronage, someday you'll go to play or get that hot dog and it won't be there, because guess what? People didn't support it. They looked at it instead. So, words of wisdom, fun stuff to see, and remember, not everybody has to hit the target every time. So we'll see you next time at the Main Street Randy Land YouTube channel. Bye.